All right, welcome on back for another edition of East Texas Tonight on East Texas Now. And our guest, I think, is one of the more interesting people because you hear her name often or you hear what she has to say about certain things, but you never really get a chance to learn about the person in general. So for most people, police officers, firefighters, they're the visible face of public safety. But behind every alert, every press release, every community update is someone responsible for making sure the right information is reaching the public at the right time. So I introduce to you Jackie Zimmerman joining us this evening. You are the public relations coordinator specifically for the Lufkin Police and Fire Departments, where you kind of like bridge the gap between those departments and the public. Walk me through
Yes.
just how you got involved in that.
Oh, goodness. Um, it's been a series of changes here in the last few years of my life, but I have been in marketing in some form or fashion for the past probably 20 years, whether I owned my own business or I was at the newspaper because I'm a print journalist by trade with a communications degree. So when this position came open, I had several people come to me and say, "Hey, this is something you should be doing. We could use you at the city." Just different people. And so I applied for it, and I really, really love it. It's just it mixes so many of my design, my not just my talents, I feel, but what I really enjoy doing for the community and in the community.
So, how would you explain this to someone who, they see you working in journalism and then making this switch? You're using those same kind of skills of pulling out the most important information of a situation and then trying to relay this quickly and easily as possible. How do the two collide in that way, but also differ? I know that's a kind of
They
a big
definitely
question. It differs a lot. Okay.
Well, they definitely collide because in newsprint or in TV journalism, we're out there wanting every bit of information you can get all the time, and I've done that. It's like, come on, give me everything, and on this side, it's like, we can only give you so much because some of the other information is sensitive, or it might imperil an investigation and things like that. So I not that I walk a tightrope, but I'm very careful because I still have that. Oh, let me go out and tell everybody this is what's going on because that's what a journalist does. But as a marketing person, we're here to also ensure the image isn't really the right word, but what is really going on and giving you the right information, being transparent, providing you everything, but still protecting those who need to be protected. And that's what it's really all about. And I get it. I use my journalism skills, every day. But wreck or a fire or things that go on, I get to go out on scene. I tell people what's going on, and then ensure that the community is safe. And that's what I really also enjoy.
When you're telling someone or kind of explaining what you do for a living, what are some of the miscommunications or just misunderstandings that you usually hear about?
Oh, um, there's a lot of, well, you just don't tell us everything. You're trying to hide things, and that is not it. Hide is not even close. Transparent as we can be to protect those who need protecting. If there were things that went on, I know sometimes they think, well, oh, well, you're protecting the guy who did something wrong. Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, you don't know until you know, and sometimes it takes a longer investigation by the officers and by the detectives to determine what the right information is. And so we certainly don't want to go out with wrong information and make somebody look guilty that's not, or name a victim when their families don't know it yet, and things like that. So it's a tightrope. And because we want the community to know what's going on, at the same time, you want to protect those individuals who need that, or may not be at fault.
So it's about trust, it's about privacy, it's safety. It's a lot to juggle. And I'm sure that
And
puts a lot of
transparency.
pressure on your shoulders.
It does. It does. It depends on the incident, but absolutely, because I need the officers to trust me
Hmm.
because I'm not a police officer. And they need to trust me and know I'm going to provide, and I'm not going to go out and tell things that don't need to be told, but I want the community to trust me to know I'm going to provide them everything I can while things are happening, because things are very fluid. You'd be amazed.
It is tough because I feel like we're in this like digital age where news doesn't stop, and I'm sure for y'all it doesn't stop, and it has never stopped. It's just everything has gotten quicker to get information out. How do you feel media has, or not necessarily media, but just technology has transformed your position or your job?
I was around before Facebook. I was doing this before before social media. And it's made, especially newsprint, has made it a lot quicker. We can drop out information. The last couple of times we've had a wreck on the loop where it's blocked traffic. I'm standing out there pushing out a Facebook post going, please don't come this way, or watch what you're doing because we have this lane blocked or that lane blocked. You're able to get things out much quicker and more accurately. On the other flip side of that, people are out there being their own reporters, which is good, unless they're putting out information that's not true or unsafe for people. And that's what we want to be careful of. But I love the social media part of it.
Oh, I'm sure it's a great tool to have. How do you
Yes.
handle people who are doing exactly what you described, adding more issue than helping people? The Facebook warriors, so to speak.
Yes. Well, we try to get out there with the right information from the official site, and just hope people will pay attention to the Lufkin police site and then compare the two. If they're following somebody who they think is like right on top of things, and look at the two and hope they don't think that because our information is different means we're hiding something, because that is not it. We are about, I said I was a journalism by trade. I love to get the news out. So we're just being much more careful in ensuring the public safety and the individuals involved, their confidentiality and their safety.
You mentioned earlier about how closely you work with police and firefighters and how you kind of build that communication and that trust within them. What is something that you've learned about their world that most people don't quite understand?
Oh my gosh. The police officer's world is, they work 12-hour days. They work 6 to 6, 6A to 6P, 6P to 6A. And they are out there on the road, and when something's happening, they're there, they come back, they write their report, they go right back out, or they may do a couple of things before they come in and make their reports to go back out. It is a constant, keep your eyes open, pay attention to what's going on. You don't realize all the calls, the dispatch team takes. I mean, there's, yes, police and fire, but the dispatchers who take the calls, who get them out to them, it's a constant busy. They may be calling, I apologize, my scanner's going off. It's amazing some of the things people will call about, and you're kind of like, that may not have been a 911 thing. We take it. And if they get a 911 call and then somebody hangs up, and this is one of the important things to learn. If you butt dial 911, you hit it accidentally, your kid hits it accidentally, talk to the dispatcher. Don't just hang up on it, because she's going to call you back. She or he, they're going to call you back. They're going to make sure everything is okay. And then they're going to send out a police officer, because they don't know. So, and that's a big thing. People call and hang up. And then you can hear them saying, hello, and dialing back. Whatever number came in, they're going to call you back. So you need to at least say, oh, I'm sorry, and let it, just say, hey, sorry, that was an accidental dial. We don't need the police. We're good. So, and if the other thing is, if you're in a wreck or you see one, be calm, call 911, please call 911. Be calm, make sure you understand and you know where you are. She needs a location. She needs to know if anybody's hurt, or if you think anybody's hurt, so that, because while you're talking to her, she's also sending the officers in the fire department and the paramedics. It's not like she gets off the phone with you and then chooses to do it. She's multitasking across there. She has a map, and I should not keep saying that, but they are multitasking and people are going to the scene while you're on the phone with them. So it's all happens at the same time. So there's a couple of tips for people, because sooner or later somebody will accidentally dial 911. It's just with our way our phones are now.
Yes,
you
yes.
know
And I've had an instance similar to I have an Alexa device in my kitchen and I use it for cooking. And then all of a sudden I accidentally dialed the police because I don't know what I said that triggered it. But in that exact same thing happened where I had to explain, I'm so sorry, Alexa did the thing and now and it was understandable. But I think there's also that fear of, prank calling the police and then you're getting in trouble. No one wants to get in trouble, but you're so right. Just be straight up and forward with them. Yeah.
straight up honest. No, sorry. And then she'll go on her way and she won't send the police. Otherwise, if you don't say anything and you say no, she's gonna call you back.
Right, because you never know what's going on the other side of that phone call.
You do not.
Have you had any moments where you've seen the impact of your work in a way that stayed with you personally? Like maybe it was a story you followed, or maybe it was a situation where you knew that communication was going to be a big key factor in a certain investigation. How did you deal with that? Or is there a certain story or case that you can tell us about?
Oh, that's a good question. The one, and this is not a murder. The last year, earlier this year, when we had the ice storm, it was my job to make sure mine and our website guy here at the city to get the information out to people about street closures, what was going on, or if we have the flooding that's kind of starting right now a little bit. Those are the things I find key, because those impact the most people, because everybody's driving, everybody's out there. Don't turn around, don't drown. You hear that all the time. But we had ice on the roads, we had trees coming down, and being able to reach out to people directly, even though directly through social media, it did feel direct. And it's like, hey, don't go here, be careful over there, we have a tree down over here, power lines are down, these parts are out. And it feels good to be able to help the community, because that's widespread, impacting families during an auto accident, or a murder. I want to impact them one-on-one if I can help them. But sometimes information gets out there that you'd rather we didn't, or it gets out there too soon, because we are a small town. Gets out there other than what we do, and people are going, well, you didn't put it out, somebody else did, as we talked before. Those are the tough things. But being able to impact the community as a whole, especially with weather and with road closures, or just like all the construction that's going on. And I work with the TxDOT guy to what they're doing inside the city limits and making sure people drive safely. Those kind of things for me make an impact.
And you're absolutely right. That is a direct impact that's going to impact people's lives. I feel like sometimes my morning commute really kind of dictates the kind of day I'm going to have. So I think that's absolutely understandable. We were talking earlier about the stress that this can have, or just the pressure to make sure that you're doing everything the right way and making sure you're, following up with that trust and that line of communication. How do you walk away from work, or is there something you do at home that allows you to just kind of like breathe and decompress?
I'm lucky. My husband and I have very similar abilities. He's very much he's a photographer, and he likes to write. We talk about all of that stuff. He's very creative. So we have an outlet we can talk about. He understands what I do. We can talk about that. I talk it out, and then we move on. We do stuff around the house quite a bit together. We like to just go out on drives, just like on a daily or weekly kind of thing. And being involved in several local nonprofits takes me out and into yet that more community feel. And that gets my mind off of it when I can't, when it's not time for a vacation. When I can't leave the place, that's, friends and people I work with through the nonprofits help decompress.
Tell me about some of the nonprofits that you're involved in.
Oh, two of my longest standing ones, United Way, Evangelina County. I've served as, I've been on the board for well more than 20 years, and do the publicity, but I was campaign chair in 2001. So that tells you how long I've been on the board. United Way is a one-stop shop. It is a great way for people to be able to give, and know their money is going right to the agency, because we have a group of people who go to each agency, talk to the agencies, know where the money's spent, see their budgets. We ask questions about their budgets, and then people get to know exactly how much money we're giving each agency based on what is raised. So they're very well monitored every year. We ask where our money's gone. We ask what projects you did, and we look at their books. The other one is the Woody Berry Humane Society and Animal Shelter. That one, who can resist puppies and kitties? I'm a big cat fan. Love dogs too, but I'm a big cat fan. I know, right? It's just, and this Friday is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It's our Dog Days of Summer golf tournament. So I've had my head buried in creating the signs and the promotional pieces, and the girls at the shelter, the girls and guys at the shelter create our Facebook stuff. But for the, talking to people, getting sponsorships, getting golf players, organizing the event is, that again, there you go. Kind of takes off of that, puts on a different pressure, because we're putting on the biggest event of the year for trying to raise money to shelter homeless pets, because we are a no-kill shelter. The only, so when a fur baby comes in, we keep them, and we keep them. I only have one right now. I have a cat. And she likes
Tell
to
me about
go
the
in
cat.
and out. Oh, Ozzy. We named her after Ozzy Osbourne.
I love it. I love it. Ozzy.
Kind of a crazy one, but she's just a sweet little cat. She's about 3 or 4 years old, and she comes and goes. She comes inside. She likes to sleep inside, but she likes to go outside and play and come back in. And she's easy. And it. She kind of started. My daughter is 25 now, and she lives in Baltimore. So the cat's kind of replaced her a little bit.
Is that tough? Empty nesting. I know my mom had her own little battle with that. How was it for you?
That was tough. She is an only child, and we were not typically young when we had her. I was not. I was into my 30s, and she left for college. And when she went to Kentucky for college, and when she left for college, and she was 18. She lived in Kentucky. We would drive up there, but she'd come home on her breaks until she started doing her internships over the summers, and then she was gone. And she graduated in the spring of 2024, and got a job in Baltimore. And she is a zookeeper. She is a zoology major.
Oh, how
It's all she ever wanted to do. So I have to brag on her. There you go. There's my other thing. It's all she ever wanted to do, because she did all the programs at our zoo here in town at Ellen Trout Zoo, all the kid programs. She did the junior zookeeper, and she decided at 12 or 13 years old, all she ever wanted to do was be a zookeeper. And she went to Kentucky Wesleyan. She majored in zoology and business. And now she is a zookeeper at the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore, working with giraffes and kudus and okapis and doing the things it was hard. It has been really hard, but yet, she's doing everything she's always wanted to do. So
do you ever see her coming back
from
to Ellen Trout?
I don't know about come back to Ellen Trout. It might be a little small, although she loves the zoo. She loves the zoo. I don't want Ryan to be unhappy about that. Our director here, he's very good. Maddie's met him. She's been out to our zoo and toured when she was home for the summer, or on vacation. Now she's an adulting. When she came home on vacation, she would like somewhere a little bit. She'd like San Antonio. She loves their zoo, and so we'll see. But she's only been there 2 years. She has a lot to learn, and it's a pretty big zoo for somebody just out of college. So she was, she'd had a lot of experience. So she's very happy to be there. She loves it.
Are y'all very close?
Yes, yeah, we are. I mean, as an only child, she is. She pretty much calls me. We talk almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
She on her drive home. She called me this morning on her drive to work. Um, she's just doing her thing, and I'm learning to. You start learning to do your own thing again. I mean, she's been gone for a while, but my husband and I, you know, uh, our hobbies, between photography and we're planning. We just got back. I just got back from a cruise where I got to dive, and that is one of my favorite hobbies.
Oh,
Is I
really?
love to dive, scuba dive. Yes, absolutely.
That is fascinating. Okay, so scuba diving. Where did you go to scuba?
Um, well, I learned. I early in my 20s. I lived in Florida, and so I learned initially in Florida to dive. And then I moved back here, and it had been a few years, so we learned. I relearned. My husband and my daughter both are certified, and we went a couple of years ago. We went to Florida, and we started in Miami. We dove off South Beach, and then worked our way down the Keys. Did Key Largo, and then one other location in Marathon, I think, and then a couple of dives off of Key West. So, yeah, it was great. It
That is
was
so
great.
cool. Would you
Yep.
rather do that, like diving and just kind of being in the open water with the animals and everything else, or is spelunking the right word, where you're basically going through caves underwater? Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Oh, that was a tough one.
I'm weirded out by closed-in spaces. That would bother me, not being
Oh,
able to
yeah.
see.
Yes, not being able to see up. I have swam through some coral uh, when I was in Florida. They're a little more flat. My trip in November to Cozumel, they're a little bit, they're much larger reefs, and so you could kind of swim under them, but they're still. I, I don't know. I'd have to, when I'm down there, I'd have to make that choice if I wanted to go into a cave, because how much air do I have, and how much time have I been down, and all of those things. It would, yeah.
Do you ever have that feeling of being claustrophobic? Because that would, again, that's my fear, and that's where I go to.
I don't because I mean, yes, you have your mask on, but I mean, you're in the wide open ocean. I mean,
Right.
all you see is blue and fish and the coral, and I mean, you can only see so far. I mean, even if it's clear day, it just all kind of starts to blend together as the blue ocean. But it's just the only thing you hear is the sound of your own breathing and your bubbles going up. I mean, you just of course, obviously, the further you go down, I spent in Cozumel, I was down about 70 feet, and it's just quiet except for your breathing, and you're just swimming around. And I absolutely do not feel claustrophobic. It's just amazing to watch the reefs and watch the life on the reefs, and then the fish and the uh, well, I did see a couple of lionfish, and and stuff, and
That's so
yeah,
cool.
it's
Have you
kind of
ever gone
cool.
to a depth in, forgive me because I just don't know that world, where you had to decompress, or is that like a whole nother level of scuba diving?
Now you still make your way up slowly, and
Oh,
you don't yeah, you make your way up slowly, and you usually do stop and do a 5 minute just wait. I'm just going to put it easily that way,
because
and
it's like water
make
pressure.
sure you're balancing out your. Yes, a lot of it's about the pressure. It is about not having uh, air in your lungs on the way
Oh,
up, because it expands on the way up, but it compresses on the way down. So you don't hold your breath on the way up because you have air in your lungs, and there it's going to expand
oh wow.
because of the
Okay.
pressure in the water. Yeah, yeah. So that's why you need to make sure you breathe on the way up. You're breathing in and out. And yeah. So you make your, I'll call it a pit stop. You make your pit stop, breathe, and you decompress yourself, and then you head on up.
That
Yeah, I
is
mean, if
so
you're only down
cool.
30 feet, it's not such a big deal, but
Right.
the 70 feet was, and
And
don't let me give anybody wrong. Go do a dive instructor, master diver. Don't listen to me about the
but still, that's
decompression.
your experiences are still unique. Is was there anything that you saw that you were like, oh, that's weird?
Oh man,
Is
some
it
of
just
the
fish? Is just kind of weird looking?
one story. I have one story. We were in Belize and with my daughter. She was in high school, and we were with a group. We were with a big group at that point, and we were kind of snorkeling and diving. And she had gotten into the water, and my husband had a waterproof pouch. He put his phone in, and he said, "Here, Maddie, hold my phone while I get in the water." And he threw it to her. She was in the water, and a barracuda came through, grabbed it, gnawed, and took it under. And then it floated back up. Of course, he put his teeth all the way through it. So even rice did not help that. But I'm like, oh my God, at least she wasn't that close to the phone. She didn't reach out for it and got her arm while she was at it. But I mean, he saw it because they are after anything that shimmers. Barracudas go after shimmery fish. And that's why you don't wear jewelry when you dive. You just don't want to do that. But yeah, barracudas are amazing to look at, but they're fast. But he didn't eat that phone because it just wasn't any good to taste. But he did grab it. So I mean, we've done silly things like that. But barracuda, yellowtail. I love groupers are huge. You know, and one of our favorite places is the dive park off. I think it's off Key Largo called Camp Park. It is literally a dive park, and there is a statue of Christ, and they call it Christ of the Abyss, and it's about 30 feet down, and you can see it. It's like this, and I have a picture of us swimming around it, and that's what it's down there for you to swim around, and I love that. I love that park. They have some wrecks and some things like that there as well.
That is so
So
cool.
it
I
is
mean,
really cool.
statues underwater, I don't know why, it gives me a little icky feeling, but again, I'm weird. I think they're going to move and get me, but that is so neat and so cool. I wish
Yeah,
we
they
had
have
more
them.
time so that we could
Oh yeah,
talk more and more, but thank you so much for just allowing me to kind of like dig into your brain about not only your job and what you do, but also how cool is that to be scuba diving? Oh gosh,
oh,
well, thank you
I
so
love it.
much.
Yeah, thank
we'll
you.
see,
I,
we'll
I
see you
appreciate
next
it.
time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Th-
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.